This conference will now be recorded.
This training is brought to you by Dynamic Enterprise Technologies, and today we're having a training on Connected Business Software Development Kit. Okay, Pete, I will make you the presenter. One moment.
Okay.
It should be asking you which screen to display.
Yeah.
Okay, we see your screen.
Can you see my screen?
We do.
Okay. So good morning and good evening to Raul. So right now we're going to create a plugin to the customer detail form. We will create a table which do have a relationship to one-to-many under customer table. Okay, so let's create the plugin. So first, let's open Visual Studio to create the plugin.
And since we covered creating a plugin in another video, you don't need to spend a lot of time explaining it. You can just rush right through it.
Okay. So new project, under new projects, under guidance and packages, we have a connected business SDK. So create a plugins under BB, and the name of the plugin is wait. The name of the plugin is one-to-many.
Okay, great.
So yeah, this is under this path, and we will create the directory also, the folder. So just click OK. Okay, so the root is the company name, which is INT Tech. That's the root namespace that we will use. And again, the project name is one-to-many. Okay, finish. So cool. Let's wait. It's still running.
So what this is doing is it's just generating a bunch of code, right?
Yeah, generating it. What the CB SDK did is currently creating projects on our solution. So multiple projects. So he created the framework, the extendable under the survey folder, the facade, and the presentation. So this server folders will not. This is more on a web service. So we will not use this one. So we better remove this one. Close that one. And then under this one, deployment, we will not use this one also. So this is our project solutions. So under this one-to-many solutions, we have 5 projects: the framework, the extendable, the business, the facade, and the presentation. So let's make the presentations our startup projects. Okay. So then after that one, since we're creating a plugin that is attached to the or connected to the server, to the database. We need to connect to the database. So we need to set up also the connections here on our server. Um, let's connect to skill server. Um, what is the server name? It takes too long to okay, this one, and then I think you can use my credentials. So we're going to develop this plugin under US demo, US. So 19, this one. Okay, this connection. Okay.
And why did we make the connection here in instead of using the connected business tool called app config?
Yes, we will create. We use this one so that we could grab the table that we will create, the custom tables that we will create using the data dictionary, and grab it when we were going to create the data set of this project.
Okay, so
So yeah,
whenever we
just
need new, whenever new, let's say custom tables are involved,
yeah,
we need to do this. But last time we didn't do it because we didn't have any custom tables.
yeah. We don't have any custom tables or a custom view.
Right.
Okay,
Oh, custom views also, right?
yeah. So let's just wait. Okay, it's reading that one. So under wait. So under the presentations, we will connect this project to our database. So let's go to edit app config file. Okay. And then that one. Yes.
So this is the connection it's going to use when we actually run this
Yeah, this is the
plugin
connections when
when we're
we
debugging
need,
it.
yeah, when we're debugging it. So this we need this app config connections so that using the SDK, we could create custom tables and custom fields.
Oh,
So just
okay, right.
yeah. So the name of the what's we call this one? I think that's 19.2. I think that's the name of the okay of the database.
So
So
this is not the connection it's going to use when we debug. The debug that's going to be the connection of the connected business that we're running. But
um
this is for the SDK. Is that right?
yeah, this is for the
Okay.
SDK in doing the plugin.
Okay.
So
Got it.
we're going to connect to the database um, when we use the when we create this plugin.
Right.
So okay, okay, and then so we're already connected this plugin or this projects to our database. Next is let's manage the data dictionary to add our custom table. Okay, so here let's just choose this one, the demo US. This is the one that we create edit earlier. Okay. Okay. So right now we're going to create a custom table. And we will name the table, oops, sorry, here. We'll name the table customer vehicle. Vehicles, sorry, there. So by the way, when you're using the SDK, they will assign you developer ID. This is based on the database that you're connected. So right now under the database, the US demo database, we have a developer ID of 4960. Okay, and then let's make this one the customer code. So we'll create this customer code because we will link this table to the customer. Okay, and then let's add a custom field. Let's say line number. So we will use this line number because since we are going to create a one-to-many relationship with the customer. So this is the one of the primary key of our project, of our table. Next is the one that you required, the year of the vehicle, which is, let's say, alphanumeric, and this is 4. Okay, then
The year's gonna be an integer.
okay, let's change that one there.
We can change it later.
Yeah, I will change that
Also
one later.
the first column that it made, C underscore dev, we're gonna change that to customer ID, right?
Yeah, right. I will change that one.
Okay.
Then the make, this is alphanumeric, right? And then the model, alphanumeric. So the BIN, still alphanumeric. Okay. So finish. So this one is, sorry, customer code. Okay. And then let's make this one as primary key. So on this table, we have two primary keys, the customer code and the line number.
Yep.
Okay. And then as you say, this year is numeric.
Yep.
Right?
Or integer. We got a
So this
separate
is small number.
Yep.
That's what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's a
That's
number.
no decimal points.
Yeah, there's no decimal point. Let's just uh fix that one on the presentation later. Okay?
And before you hit the save button, I have a question.
Sure.
There's two columns called show on list, show on class.
Yeah.
Can you just give us a brief explanation of what different happens when we click show on list and show on class? What does that do?
So shown list, this is the when you create when you use this table on when you use this table on on a search dashboard, search list, or a drop down, search drop down. So all the shown list fields will be the one to show. Okay.
Yep.
The shown class, we will not we did not use this one because more or less all the fields are, since using we're developing the plugins, we can access the all of these fields. So this one also, the searchable, when this is checked and use these tables for searching, this is the fields that we're going to search. Okay.
Very
And
good.
based on the sorting, so based on the sorting of the list, so if you want the model to be the first on your search list, so this one should have a lower sort order. Okay. And I think that's it. And then this one, search mapping, maybe this one is more advanced, where this field will be mapped to this fields of the user. um yeah, this is more advanced. Before, I am one of the developers who developed this one, but I don't know if they pursue this one on using it.
Yeah, I explained that in a different video, so we can go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I think we created our table. So let's save. Okay, save the table. So after saving the table, let's open our SQL. Okay. So it was saving. The reason for that one, SQL management. The reason why we're opening this one, because we are going to alter the generated read script of this table. I mean of this for this table. So our SDK will generate the read script, read store procedure, the create, the delete and update. I mean the CRUD of this one, of this table. Okay. So let's just wait. Now express. So LSP help text under this one. Read customer vehicles dev 004960. I think that's it. So we will alter this one because we don't need this parameter and this parameter also. So we only just filter when we use this read store procedures when we load the data of this vehicle, and this will be filtered by the customer. Okay, I think that's it. So alter. Done. So let's go back to our Visual Studio. Okay. And then as my practice when I'm going to develop the plugin under CB, I'm going to wait. Let's close this one. So save and close. I'm going to create a folder for when I'm going to compile. So let's say the folder is the DLL folder. So
This is your build output.
yeah, this is where I will place my build output. So wait. So under compile, build output, and then this one. So this is up will be applied to all project. So that's the way I did, and some programmers CB also did this one, and some will just leave this one under debug bin of every project, every folder. So okay, I think that's it. So let me compile it this one first. Build solutions. Let's see if there's an error. So let's build this one at first time. So let's go back to this solution. So here's the let's call this one. So here's the output of our what we did build. So we have the presentation, we have the facade, we have the business, we have the extendable, and we have the framework. That's the project. Okay. So under here, so as you can see, there's no GP state. So the rule of the GP state. So when I try to close this one, close the project, it will create a GP state GP state file. The GP state file is this is where the SDK options on each projects are set up. So it's better to back up this one because sometimes there are cases that these files will be ruined. The clue or the your that this one is ruined. The file size is small than this one. So this is what I always did. I think you also practice this one once you will create a plugin. Okay.
Another thing, if we're using source control, then what we'll do is we'll build everything using the SDK, and we won't make any changes. We'll check that in the source control first,
Yeah, that's
and then
that also another option.
we'll have the GP state backed up in source control, and then we can always revert to the latest one if our file gets corrupted.
Okay. Yeah.
But yes,
So
we got to have a backup of that file, however we handle it.
yeah, and another options if there's ruin and there is no source control. So the other options is you will create a new projects under the same name on different folder, and then after that one, if you close the projects, it will generate a GP state. You will copy that GP state, and then you're all good. That's the another option.
Okay, great.
Yeah, yeah. So not not all developers know that one, but we did that one based on experience. Okay. So let's open the one to many project again. Oops, I think that's not the one. Close the project. No. Project solutions. Wait.
No, that was correct. Project solution.
Recent files. Recent solutions. Is this the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Here. Okay. Sorry about that one. So here we have our projects. So next is we have the, so this is the SDK. So next we have we manage the data dictionary. So we also alter the read store procedures. So now let's create our data set. So by the way, each projects do have these options of the SDK. So when the GP state is gone or is messed up, this icon will also not show here. So let's create the data set. So let's name the data set. I think let's name that one customer vehicle data set. So when you create a data set under data set under framework. So when you create that one, as you can see,
Question.
there is no data set. It will
Question.
the SDK will generate the prefix, I mean the suffix data set.
Should it match the name of the table?
No. I just matched this one for the name of the what we call this one, the 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 form that we will going to use to create the customer vehicle section.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I named this one customer vehicles dataset. Okay, it's just the thing that the name of our custom table also vehicle customer vehicle. Okay, and then the server. Oops, it's gone. So let's refresh this one. I think, yeah. So let's find our custom table here. So under custom table, we have customer vehicle, this one. So let's just grab that one. So instead of creating this one manually, so that's the purpose that we open this one, so that all the fields that we will not miss something. Okay, so remove that one, it's not needed. So this is our dataset object under this dataset. Okay, and then the next thing is show all files. Under the designer, you will right click this one and then view the code. Always remember this one always, that we should inherit and the enterprise framework base dataset gateway that base dataset and dataset component that base dataset. Always inherit to that code.
Is that a bug in the SDK? That it generates the wrong
Maybe
thing?
that they did not generate this one, but when, okay, let's, I don't know if this is a bug on the SDK or on Visual Studio, because when I try to, when you have changes on the dataset here on this designer, say it will restart this one. See, every time you have changes in the dataset, even though it just move this object. So as you can see, it did change to the original,
Okay.
to the system data set. So always remember this one, that the reason for that one is so that all your this data set will be recognized when you use it on facade and on your presentation.
So if you're building your projects and it says I can't find this data set,
Yeah, it's
first
probably
thing you do is you come into here and see if this thing got changed
correct.
back to the default, because it's not gonna work right because it's not inheriting the right stuff.
Yeah, and when you have a big projects, that's a hard thing to do. That's very when you're debugging uh big projects. So yeah, based on experience, when my early days on CB, I keep wondering why these fields cannot be seen, or this data tables cannot be seen on this, because that's the reason. This is the reason why it is not inheriting in the enterprise framework that base dataset component base dataset. Okay, always take note of this one. This is important. Okay, so we have this one. So let's compile this one. Okay. So for now, we will not, on this project, we will not um, create an extendable and a business. So let's proceed with facade. So let's create a facade. So same thing, customer vehicle.
But before we proceed, can we need to consider the fact that when we're building plugins for customers, we might have like 10 different screens
Um,
and 5 different modules all in the same plugin code. So you mentioned previously there's a practice where you create folders.
yeah, sure. Yeah,
So let's do that.
yeah, okay. So since this is under customer, so let's create folders for this one. So you mean that one? Customer. So let's create facade, um, customer vehicle. This will use the data set that we created earlier, this one. So the reason why I compile it so that this one will be viewed here. Okay.
And this screen that we're filling out is just it's a code generator. So after we fill in these options, it's going to generate a bunch of code
Yeah, correct.
for us, and we want the right pieces of data in there to start with.
Yeah. So this is the code generated on that pop-up window. So we can also create this one manually. Okay, so it just take time. So we have this data set. So we have already the facade. So by the way, the facade is not in this one. So let's just grab this one and just change the instead of the namespace. So this should be under customer there. Okay. So no, sorry, that's not the region. It's just a region. Okay. Wait. Where's the namespace? I think so. By the way, this one, yeah, it's already here already. Okay. And then let's create the customer under presentation. So login section, and then let's name this one vehicle section. Vehicle
So is this
customer
there's two
vehicle.
there's two parts. One is a grid that's going to display the list,
Yeah,
and
this is
one is a detail form. So is this what you just created? Is that for the list or the detail form or both?
for the grid.
Okay.
So we have a detail form. Wait, for the grid. So wait, let's compile this one first. Build to the okay, and then the section plugin sections. So let's use the data set, and then the facade that we created. Finish. Okay. And then since we're going to plug this plugin to customer, we need to add the reference of the customer. So wait, this should be under enterprise. So let's just check the customer business.
But shouldn't it be under the client
The
folder, not the server folder?
when you're trying when you do on development, I think um, it's not important where
It could be
you
either one.
yeah,
Just as long as you're consistent.
yeah, as long as you use the DLL, the same DLL. Okay, extendable facade framework and the presentation. Okay, so we have here the business extendable facade framework and the presentation. Okay, so then since we have that one, we're going to design our section. Okay,
Is this
so
this is the grid or the detail form?
this is the grid.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll use the data grid. Okay, wait, data grid. um, Wait, the grid. Data grid. Why there is no data grid here? And there, this one. DX reporting here. Data grid control. Oops. Why? What different version? Uh-huh.
Shouldn't
Wait.
we've only installed one version of Dev Express in here, so
Yeah,
it
wait.
shouldn't be a version.
Can we pause the
Sure,
first?
sure.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So the issues earlier is just that there's something with the Visual Studio security. So I did just restart the solutions and run the Visual Studio as administrator. So let's add a component. So this one. So next is, let's name the component. Okay, wait. Let's name the component the grid. What should we name this one? So
Vehicles.
vehicles. Okay. And then the data source is, sorry, data source is that one and that one. Okay. And run the designer. Okay. And the layout.
Now
So
this is part of the DX controls, right?
see, yeah, this is under DevX.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we don't need this one. Sorry. Don't need that one, that one. So what we only need is the year, the make, the model, and the bin. Okay. Let's change that one. So the year, the caption of the year is year. Make. Model and the bin. Okay. So let's start here. Okay. So close that one. And then, sorry, we need also, here we have a grid control, and then we need also rename the grid view. Grid view vehicle. Okay. So that one and that one. So under the view, under, let's change the option view. Wait, this one should don't have, let's hide this group box. Okay, so as you can see, we don't have the group box anymore. And then under the view, So under options, let's show, wait, is that one here? New item rows bottom. Okay. So we have that one. So let's go to code, to the code. So under our code, wait, let's close. Why there are errors? Change the rights. Let's compile this one first if there is an error. Okay, none. So next is we'll add the dataset and facade of the customer. So it should be private and customer detailed facade admin dataset as enterprise framework customer dataset gateway. Why is not working? That customer detailed there. Enterprise framework customer dataset gateway that 19. See different version. Our
Yeah,
SDKs.
you know how the we talked about in the last training that
Yeah,
there's two sets of DLLs, one when the project is in the SDK is installed, and one that you point to. I don't know if you resolved those references.
yeah. Wait, let's check the version, the base. So, okay. So to fix that one, let's just the reference path. Update the reference path. Just let's use the
Before you fix it, I want to make sure they understand the problem.
yeah.
So
So the problem, yeah.
can you close your screen and let's just look at these references first?
Okay.
And can you close the Solution Explorer so we can see the full path better?
What
Can
should
you
I
go back to the references screen?
Okay, here. This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then close the Solution Explorer so we can, or make it smaller, yes, we can see the
There.
full path.
Yeah. So the problem is the versions of the DLLs are not the same with
But
the
the problem is that when you install the Connected Business SDK, it installs a pile of DLLs
yeah,
for you from like the original release of Connected Business.
correct.
Um, and then, so those DLLs are in one place, and you can see Can you go? Yeah, you
Here,
see
and under here.
they're under the SDK installation
Correct.
folder, and
And
then
it's hard to
some of
locate.
the DLLs are being picked up from the program files x86 because you added that um, to resolve some references, and now it's mixed.
Yeah.
So some of the DLLs are being grabbed from one folder that are older, and some of them are being grabbed from another folder that are newer. And so we need to make sure they're all getting grabbed from one place.
Yeah. So the problem is the SDK DLL is not the same versions with the one that we added, the current reference DLL that we just added. So there are different version. So to fix that one is just use a reference path. We just locate the DLL that we need to use. So under here, so I think that's the path. And wait. So right now,
So
I
now
think
you can see that you can see that for some of the references it changed them, so they're all coming from the same place.
yeah, correct.
And now you need to do that for all the projects.
No, for for the framework and a facade,
Okay.
since yeah, since we're touching that project. See, and that one, save and reference path there. So there's no error anymore. So let me compile it again. Okay,
And
there's no error.
normally when you're setting the DLL path, the build output path, you also want to go in and fix all the references. That way you don't run into any problems in the first place.
Yeah. Okay. And then let's go back to the code. So here's already solved the issue. And then private customer detail facade as enterprise framework. I don't know. Facade customer um customer detail facade there. So we have that one. Then the next thing is we need to have the code that will locate our locate our parent form so that we could grab the the parent section panel, I mean parent section to that one, so that we could grab the data set and the facade of the customer detailed form. Okay, so first, since we need to add this code for the user role, since oops, sorry, we're going to plug in this one using the user role. So might as well, when this control will be initialized, we will not we will not execute the other code. So we'll add the filter if enterprise presentation base ribbon control base ribbon form that user role. So for this one, for this code, we add this code so that again, when you're in the user role, we will not going to execute the rest of the code here that we will add
Because
because
when you're designing, you don't want it to execute your code.
yeah, you're in your user role. We don't need to involve the data on it, just the how to design it. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
right. So that's why, and also added this code. So let's just copy this one and then um, so because sometimes your control will be used, this control will be used also for other projects, so that it during design time this the rest of the code here. So the code here that we are going to create is sorry, what's it called this one? This is for finding the parent form. Okay, so I think I have something code here that I prepared. So this one. So this is based on I created a variable parent form as a I-based form interface. Then I find the form. So this find form is this is a functions from Windows form, system Windows form. So I find the form and then I direct cast it as a I-based form interface. So once we get the form, I mean find the parent form, I added this code here. So I make sure that this forms is not null or nothing. And
So we went through this code in the earlier training, so we don't need to go through it again
okay,
in detail. But the point is that this is a piece of code that you use often creating SDKs. So you just have a copy of it over in like your notepad that you save when you're building projects, right? And you just paste it in.
yeah. So this code is when you once you find the parent form, under the parent form, this is a current parent control on it. So that's called the current control. So
Yeah.
once you finding the current control, and what we're going just to add here is just we're looking on the to get the data set. So our parent control here is the customer detailed form. So under customer detailed form, you have the customer detailed data set and its facade. So in order to get that one, so this is what I did. Just to fast forward. So we have the parent form. Under the parent form, we have the current control. So this current control, this is the parent control, the form, and then we have this data set. So I direct cast it this one as the customer detail data set so that I could get the customer detail data set, and so as the facade. Okay. So I assign it to the variable that I created earlier. This one.
Yep.
Okay. So next is we already have the data set of the customer and the facade. We need to check that the customer, when we execute this code, we need to check that there is rows under, or there is data. So if customer, sorry, customer detail data set, customer view that rows count is greater than 0, so meaning there's data, so we can get the customer code. Okay?
Yeah, there's no point in trying to display any data in the grid if there's no customer ID on the form.
Yeah, that's why we're checking that this customer view do have a record, so that we could get the customer code. Okay, and then let's create this variable, private and customer code as string. Okay, just copy that one. So here, let's get the customer code. So and that customer dataset, that customer code, customer view, row 0, then customer code, that was string. So we have the customer code. We already get the customer code. And then once we have that one, okay, why there is a lot of namespace here. So this is under initialize control. So let's create a procedure. I mean a function or a procedure. Public, or I mean private. Private load vehicles. Okay. Under this one, so we need dim. We will create a variable for the command set. String, array of string. It's nothing. Okay. And then command set. Oops, our command set is this. So command set equals new string. So new string. Okay. So first is the name of our data table in the dataset, which is customer vehicles. Oops. The 004960. Then the read the one that we alter, customer vehicle dev 004960. Then the next one is the name of the parameter. What's the name of the parameter again? This one. And Next is the customer code. Okay. So once we have this one, we will load the dataset, called the load dataset. Load dataset, command set. This is where's command. Next is this one, specific. Okay, think yeah. Then I think that's it. So we'll call this one here. And then after we call that one, so this data set will be, the data will be loaded on the data set here, this one. So it's not yet on the main data set, which is the customer detail data set. So the next thing is we will merge this data set to the customer detail data set, so that when we call the update data set, it will be executed, it will be included in the update data set of this parent. Okay, so that's what our goal. So first, this one, that merge and customer vehicle dataset, that customer vehicles there. So it's already merged. Then let's change the grid data source to customer detail dataset. So since it is already merged there, so let's create a region. So and region. So let's test this loading vehicles, if this will load. So to test that one, let's create a free data here. Okay. So did you follow? Still following me?
We are here.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just create a free data. Let's say admin customer. Wait. Let's select status from customer. What's the name of the customer? Is Frank, and customer 3. Okay. So one, let's say 2000. Oops. And then make, is this Toyota, right? Corolla. And then this one is just a number, something like that, right?
Yeah, numbers and letters.
Okay, numbers and letters. And a okay, it's just one. So okay, oops, sorry. So to test that one, so let's compile this one first. Okay, and then add our plugins. So to add our plugins, let's just under presentation, register the plugin. So these plugins will be registered to our database that we pointed earlier, which this one, Demo US. So remember under edit app config that we configure our data set, database. So we'll register the plugin. So let's say register plugin. Okay. Done. So once you register the plugin, we're going to manage the user role. So this is the Editable US. Okay. So under customer, so find customer. Okay, let's add the tab. And plug in here, there. Okay, so let's rename the tab. Rename to one to many. Close. Yes. Okay. Okay, so we add the plugin. So the next thing is let's open the Visual CB. Let's run CB. So where's CB? So the run CB is there. We will debug the project. So we will compile this one, run this one under external program. So we will use connected business here, there, and then oops, sorry, we don't know the path. So wait, let's just run this one. So we don't know the path where where did CB put the plugin during when we extract the DLL from the database. So what we're going to do is let's open first the sample up here. Customer tree. There's no customer tree. So what's the name of the customer again? Frank. Oops. Anyway. Let's just open one. 28. Let's just change the data. Okay. So under here, see, it's loading. So our load application, our load procedure is doing great. So this one is the loading. Okay. And then we merge it. So right now,
So I
when we change,
have some questions. Okay, yes.
sure.
I was going to
So
ask you, is this grid editable? at this
Yeah,
point?
this is at this point it's not yet editable. So when I save this one
We don't have any code for that. Is that right?
for saving, we don't have the code for saving yet.
Okay.
So see, it's not yet editable.
Okay.
But at least the loading is still it's loading.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay. Okay. So any question so far?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So I think we all follow. So next is the next thing we do is once you load the form. So in order for us to debug, like as I mentioned earlier, um, when we going to debug this one, we need to compile the output path where CB located the DLL. So to locate the DLL, we will go to under CB, you will go to the plugin and check your plugins here. So as I select the plugins, as you can see, you notice this ones will enable. Let me do it that one again. So that one is not enabled. So when I select the plugin, it's enabled. So meaning CB is already extracting this DLL to a specific location. So when I open this one, so this is this is the path or the locations where CB plays the DLL when he extract. So let's copy that one. So that's why it is also important to run as an administrator so that we have access to this app data. So this is what the CB compiled. So I'll just use this one. Copy. So close. Wait. Next thing is, sorry. I will change that one. So I will change the path of the projects where I added, even though let's just all the project. So, but when you are going to recompile it on the final, you will need to locate, place it under the LL folder. So this one just for to debug, so that you can debug. I will just to show you that you can debug. Okay, done. So let's place a breakpoint here. So let's run the application again. So admin. Okay, customer, find customer, 28, Jim Brandt. So under here, so when I click this, so see, it will stop here. So meaning you can debug. Any question so far?
Not for me.
Okay, so here we can debug. So we already find the data set. So under here, so we have this checking. You could check that there is a data. So that's why it will go inside and find the customer code. And then under this customer code, it will call this one command set and then the load data set. it will call the load data set, and then it will merge, and then there. So the next thing that we will add is the update data set. I know the adding, so that we could add new data here. Okay, adding and the update data set. Okay, so let's create the functions that will get the line number. So private function get line number as integer. So I did this one so that we could get the last line number of our vehicles of the customer, so that because the line number is we created as one as data row as primary key. So customer dataset that tables. So this one, since we already merged here the dataset table, so under customer detail dataset we have already also this table already at this stage. So under that one we will select then line number dev 004960. This is the sorting, so this descending, and then why is it error? Data row, so this one is an array. This will return, this will return as an array. So array there, and then so if the row is nothing, then return 0, else return b row under row 0, then line dev 004960.
So did you say we're getting, the purpose of this is get the highest existing line number?
Yeah, okay. So that it will be one of our primary key. So that one should be, convert that one to integer. Convert to there. Okay, we have that one. So next is under events. So on the grid, this one, So on the grid, we have events, initialize new grid view. Grid view. Here, initialize new row, init new row. So every time, so let's say region events and region. So oops. So every time you add a column, I mean a row on the grid, this events will be triggered. So from here, so we will create a variable first of the so that we will get the new row. Because this one will return a row view. So here, let's create private and new line row as data row view. Okay. So this one is under system data row, system data namespace. So under this one, we'll create we'll get the new row. So and new row equals C type with view. Okay, get row, then row handle to data row view. Okay, so this one, this is the data grid. We get the row handle of the row of the new row, and then we direct cast that one to a row view. Next is let's create a variable line num, and let's call our method, I mean procedure, sub procedure, and then here, so under facade, so by the way, the facade where all the data will be processed, so all the adding of data. So under facade, we will create a methods add vehicle. So add vehicles. So okay, add vehicles public sub add vehicle. Then need to have customer code, string, then line num. By the way, this code, this methods also can be, if you don't like to use the facade, this will be also added, can be added to the presentation layer. So what
No,
we're
facade is good. We want to make it as reusable as possible.
yeah, okay. New row as data row view. Okay, there. So if new row is nothing, then return else new row that begin edit new row and edit. So new row that oops, sorry, customer code dev 004960 equals customer code, then new row line dev 004960 equals line +1. Okay, so this is our add vehicle. So under here we can say Passad. So that is under Passad. So what's the name of Passad? Passad add vehicle and customer code line then the new row there. So there. So we all add that one. So next is update so that you could verify that is adding, right? So let's add region. So we have here we need to override update plugin dataset. Update plugin dataset. So we need to override that one. So here this is by reference. So we will this first parameter make that one true. So this is a flag where this is a plugin, and then the command set also we'll set up the command set new string um, new string so name of the table, which is this one. Next is the create procedure, that one. Then the update, then the delete. Okay, then return to. Okay, I think we have that function. So let's add region to that one. And region. So let's run the application again that we could add. Find customer. Oops, let's remove that one. So let's say 2001 Honda Civic ABC. Save. Hopefully it will save. There, it's saved.
Very good.
Question.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. So can
I had a question.
Sure.
How to debug the facade file? I want to debug the code that is in the facade.
So here, let's say you want to debug. So since the facade, since our code will call the facades from here, right? From here, okay? Or you can put a breakpoint from here. So since the facade it also compile here, this is the output path when you compile. So meaning to say, you can access. So as long as the compile path is the same with where CB plays the extracted DLL, you can debug the what projects under our solutions. Okay, so to test that one, if I close that one here and reload again, did we place oh sorry, we did not. So if we add, so see, go to F10 F11, so it's go to the facade. So always remember when you locate the plugin location, I'm sorry, this will be also the output path of your plug when you compile, when you run the when you debug your plugin. Okay, I think do I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so let's proceed. The next task we have is to have the capability to delete. So right now we don't have the capability to delete this one. Okay, so close, let's say that one. So actually CB do also already have um like the one that we did, the the update data set, the one that we override. So this is also one that you will need to remember. So to override this update plugin dataset. Okay. Next is to add the capability to delete. So first we need to override the, let's plot this one here. Override the procedure load the settings, these methods. load grid settings. So set, just take note of this one, set grid menu context, grid B R grid, then includes insert, no, and then set grid options, grid vehicles, false, there. So region, so and region. Okay, so I'm not yet adding the code for deleting, but I want to show you that with this code, we add the right click and the pop-up menu for deleting. Okay, so fine. So here we already have this one, delete selected, delete all. Okay, so that's is this code. Okay, so let's proceed to add a code for deleting. So for deleting, we need to override again. So this is an event, event override bar manage grid context menu item click bar manage grid context. Okay, I think this one. Then let's select case e item name dot name. So case Inoki delete all and case Minoki delete case else. Okay, so this one should be here. Okay, next if min message window, okay, so this one is enterprise presentation base that message window. Messages that message window that show what's the message? Are you sure to delete? Then oops. Is alert window false? Then title, let's say delete all equals delete data from context menu. Delete data from context menu, true. Okay. So I just copy that one. I want to delete. So okay, false. So there. So that's our code for deleting. Hopefully this will work. Okay, let's run again. Admin. So fine. So under here, so we want to delete this zero. Delete selected. Are you sure? Okay, there. Save. There. So we have the delete, we had the add, we can change. So that's
can you open it up another customer to prove the
sure.
grid's going blank, and then come back to this other one? And
This one. There, blank. So
yep.
let's add 2000. Oops, there's an error. Wait. Yeah, this is no meaning to say. Sorry. What's the data set table? Line 46049. Right, let's debug. So length equals 0. Okay. So let's not do that one. Stop. The code should be equals 0. Then
Lucas Tomlinson, who is currently in Lviv in the western part of Ukraine. U.S. officials are telling Lucas that thousands of Russian Marines are assaulting a beach in southeast Ukraine near the Russian border.
So this is one is, we will add that one. Oh, sorry. I put a break. And to the facade. Oh, no break anymore. Continue. So 2001. Make another Nissan. I don't know the model. Let's say this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. Save. So there. So under here, under this table, if we're going to execute, there are data there. Okay.
Very good.
Very good. So can we pause first? I have to.
Yes. One
Yeah,
moment.
sure.
This conference will now be recorded.
So
Okay.
after reviewing our functionality, we realized we already have all the code we need to make this simple grid work. So Pete, can you go ahead and prove that it's doing add, change, and delete properly?
Yeah, so first let's open this one, this customer. So under this customer, we don't have any vehicles here. So let's add one. 2000 Honda Civic. Okay. So another one is 2001 Toyota, and then Corolla. There. So that is the adding. Let's save. And then open it again. Same customer, same record. And then let's try to delete this one. This 2000. Yes, deleted. And let's change this one to Innova. And then so that's its editing, and then save. Open it again. So here it's Innova. So the requirements for this plugin, so where we create a table vehicles where one-to-many relationship to the customer table. So the customer record, we can list the list of vehicles what she have. So you can list it here, and then you can also delete, modify the records in place. So I think this is all the plugins. That's all about the plugin.
Okay, I'll go ahead and end the recording.
Okay.